It's time for highlights from tonight's hard-hitting high school football action. Sports Extra starts now. Sponsored by New West Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery.
Did you hear about the six-man game between Arthur County and SEM? 101-80. It happened last week. Perhaps there's another basketball score to be found out there. Alongside Nate Brown, I'm Dave Griek with you on Sports Extra. Hey, and someone Murda hit a hundy. Hemingford not so much. They had 6.
GICC Grand Island Central Catholic going against Archbishop Bergan. It's going to be a pass down the field for Archbishop to number 15, Lucas Pruss, who runs the ball down the field. And yeah, I think you know which way this is going. All the way to the end zone. He reaches pay dirt for Bergan. Next up, it's going to be Archbishop striking once more as the student section looking to keep the fight alive. It's Cade McIntyre, who's going to catch the ball right outside of the end zone, just needs to make one quick step, and he's in for another score for Archbishop. Score of 38-0 at the half, and the final 38-8 is Archbishop just dominating this one.
Hastings Little League being honored at halftime of the Adams Central Wahoo Showdown. The Warriors living up to the name. Colin Ludwig just refusing to go down as he fights his way to the 1-yard line. Tough running indeed. How about a little read option on the next play? Owen Hancock keeps it himself untouched. Finally an easy 6 in a defensive battle throughout. The Patriots looking to defend their home turf as Hyatt Collins gets the gainer up the middle. How about 15 yards to put AC in Wahoo territory? Despite a great read by Jacob Eckhart on the option, Wahoo just a half step too fast as they are able to chase him down. One correction and potentially on the sports crawl, which will not be corrected at this time. Adams Central lost to Wahoo 13-8. We were sent some misinformation through the maxpreps.com, and it was also posted on maxpreps.com incorrectly. Wahoo beat Adams Central 13-8.
Hastings amped to be back home looking for that first win against Scottsbluff. Defensive fans love this one early. The pass finds Bo Dreer, who looks to gain some extra yardage, but it's ripped away as Mason Kinsey. He's going to fall on the fumble. Scottsbluff opted to go for it on 4th down, and Hastings would make them pay. Joe Rodriguez and Ryan Bauer are both there for the takedown. Another Bearcat turnover, and Hastings, they've got great position, but it's Kinsey once more. He comes up with a huge interception, the 4th straight turnover to open the game. Both teams just really wanting to share the ball in this one. Scottsbluff needing to get something going, and the play action does the trick. Braden Stull goes over the top to a wide open Trevor Shorts, the big fella, all 6'4" of him, hustling to score. Won't quite get there, but it's going to set them up on the doorstep. Stull would hear his own number called as he fights forward for the score. The floodgates would open from there. Scottsbluff takes it by a final of 40-0. North Platte St. Pat's making the trip east to take on St. Cecilia. The Irish looking to get tricky with it. They mime the fake fumble, then actually fumble it as Dawson Kissinger falls on a loose ball. The Blue Hawks on the doorstep, and Garrett Parr is going to find a little pay dirt with a little help from his friends on the offensive line, helping him to get to the end zone. That knots this one at 7. North Platte St. Pat's, they go back to the mime trick, and it works this time. They're going to float it over. They find Will Moats down the seam for a big gainer. As we move into the second quarter, though, Connor Pell, he's not having any of it. He's in the backfield in a hurry, and St. Cecilia, they're going to edge out St. Pat's in a tight one, 26-22.
The Aurora Huskies had to play Class A's North Platte in Week 1, and the Bulldogs showed they were for real in a 42-14 victory.
The Huskies looking to rebound from their opening loss as they get back to some Class B foes. Aurora Bennington high as Aurora, they're playing their home opener against Bennington, and what was destined to be a crazy game. The Huskies starting by recovering the onside kick. A great way to go. Aurora marching down the field and scored when Drew Nust hit Carlos Colazo on the slant route. He fights through contact and extends to put the Huskies on the board. 8-0. Then Bennington took over. First is going to be Trey Bird. He airs one out over the middle. He's got 2 teammates streaking. Caden Bloom going to make the catch. The Badgers only trailing by 1. Next offensive possession. Bird, he's going to take the ball and hand it off to Dylan Mostek, and he's off to the races. 52-yarder, weaving through everyone, where no one is going to lay a hand on the man. Bennington, they lead at the half, 35-44. They go on to take it 55-44 in an absolute wild one.
Alliance, well, traveling quite a distance to take on York after leading 17-0 at the half. It was an uneventful third quarter, with the Dukes kicking a field goal from 32 yards out to extend their lead to 20-zip. Defense has been the name of the game for York all night. First, the Dukes coming up with a decisive fourth down stop. Tyson Brown scrambles. He's got nowhere to go. 3 Dukes swarm and shut it down. Again in the fourth quarter, Alliance deep in their own territory. Brown throws a short ball, picked off by Joel Jensen, sprinting for the end zone. The old pick 6. Dukes going to win this one by a count of 27-6 over Alliance. Doniphan-Trumbull coming out for their second game of the season, this time taking on the Buffaloes of Gibbon. Cards run a little counter with 2 blockers pulling, and a big hole opens up for Blake Dedamore. He carves it up for 22 yards, potentially more if not for the slip and slide finish. All good. Dedamore gets a call inside the 5. And even with a swipe at his hat, he scores for the Cardinals. They go up 6-0. Next Doniphan possession, and they've got a 3rd and long from their own 27 when Jaden Williams goes up top. Miles Sad had to sit and wait on this one. A little T, if you will. He still gets lots of room to run. A 62-yard reception down to the Gibbon 11. After converting on 4th and short, it's Dedamore taking it up the gut again. Cards up by a dozen. Quiet through the first 3 quarters and a lot more offense in the fourth. DT takes it down 24-20.
The Centura cheerleaders looking to get the crowd ready for a showdown with Bridgeport. Second quarter action, Centura on the move until Rafi Cantu rips the ball clean. A slew of Bulldogs fall on it, and it's a Bridgeport ball. The Bulldogs looked like they meant business with the ball in Colby Lewis's hands as he keeps running guys over. The drive, though, eventually stalling out on 4th and goal. And with a shift in momentum, the Centurions go to the air. Troy Rasmussen hauls in the one-handed snag to get the ball into the red zone. Centura just clicking on all cylinders. Another pass, Tanner Simdorn, and another great catch. This one from Jason Fanta. Tip drill indeed. Centura, they pitched the shutout, coming away with a 27-0 win.
Silverbacks of Wood River and Shelton hosting Cozad at Wood River Rural High School. Scoreless in the second quarter with less than 5 to play when Nolan Watovic takes over. First up, a 20-yard juke and jive into the WRS red zone. And then some, positioning the Haymakers with a chance to get points. Next touch, Watovic gets the call again. From 14 yards out, he barrels in 2 plays and a 17-yard per carry average. 7-0 Makers. 35 seconds on the clock. Cozad going for it all. Watovic has one-on-one coverage deep. Jacob Weatherly there to make the grab. A pickup of 42 yards down to the Silverbacks 6. I said Silverbacks 6. Cozad looks like they call a pass option. Watovic chooses pass. Korchaika with the grab for the Makers, who score 14 points in the final 3.5 minutes of the first half. Cozad's Makers blank the backs by 35 points.
Nebraska Christian playing host to Arcadia Loup City, and the Rebels, well, you can tell that they were clicking. They had the lead for most of the first half, added to it right before the buzzer. The beautiful pass from Cody Marcus. Preston Rogers hit immediately, but manages to hold on for the beauty. That momentum going to continue into the third quarter. Rogers gets the direct snap, turns the corner, starts sprinting down that sideline, and you can tell right away no one's going to catch this young man. That's going to extend the lead to 31-6. The Eagles, they found the end zone on their next offensive possession. A little floater pass from Dayton Falk to Drew Purdue from a couple yards out. That's going to help close the gap just a smidge. The Rebels, though, dominating this one, taking down Nebraska Christian 45-12.
Highline Bulls traveling to Elm Creek to take on the Buffaloes. Cooper Ray gets things started with a short dive into the end zone before the end of the first quarter. After a successful 2-point conversion, Highline's up 8-0. No points on the scoreboard for Elm Creek. They're trying to find something. Shea Hubbard. Oh, look out. Great interception before he gets shoved out of bounds by the Bulls. Highline earns their first win of the year, defeating Elm Creek 36-18.
Osceola looking to bounce back from their season-opening loss against Wausa. Starting quarterback Isaiah Zelansky is out with an injury, so Hayden LaValle is under center. First play of the game does not go well as the handoff. It's fumbled and lands right in the grasp of Jackson Clausen, and Wausa's offense gonna take over. Josh Wadier pushes through a wide-open hole in the middle for a touchdown. The Vikings quickly on the board with an 8-0 lead. The Bulldogs, though, they're going to respond in a big way. Cale Gustafson takes off running, looks around for any defenders, and one Viking does drag him down, but he's making it all the way to the 5-yard line. LaValle is going to hand it off to Gustafson again. This time he heads for the pylon and makes it to the end zone. Osceola winning a barn burner, 52-50.
Let's go out to Northwest High School in GI, where we find Gering taking on the Vikings. Gering looking for a field goal. Clean snap, potentially a clean hold. Looks like that's going to be good for the Gering Bulldogs. But they're
trailing
behind
just
a little bit.
smidge,
31 points, actually.
Yeah.
And then here we go. Wyatt Jensen. Great back shoulder grab in the end zone for a tutty. Northwest dominates the Dogs at Gering, 48-10, moving to 2-0.